Dad, what do it?
Daddy, do it.
No.
Okay.
Making stuff look better. Look at that side. Look at that side with the camera. Ooh, it's raining pretty good.
That's it.
What's up, guys? Working on a '05 Suzuki LTZ 400. Got the top end off right now. Reason for rebuilding it, there was a hose that came off the jug to like a plastic box right here. Then it runs to the hose on the the air filter, and it had milky oil going into there. So had a head gasket problem. I think it failed like right at the bottom of the jug. The crazy thing is that this thing ran, and it actually ran pretty good. It didn't even smoke. But when I pulled off the jug, this is what the piston looked like. That was the top ring. All those little pieces were embedded inside the piston. I ended up pulling them out. So I don't think none of them got to the bottom or in the motor. So it's just kind of crazy that this thing even ran. So yeah, I'm just waiting for parts. While I'm waiting for parts, I've been wet sanding this. This here looked really bad. It still kind of looks bad, but it looks a lot better. There was like, I think the previous owner had like oil, like just like soaking into the plastic. This is kind of what it looked like. I haven't done this part yet, but the sides were like way worse. But yeah, this is a lot better. I haven't waxed it yet. I think when you wax it, it'll bring back the shine a little bit. So yeah, I'm just waiting for parts here. Another thing is that the fan wasn't working, so I got a new used fan coming. And then it was overheating, which I thought was from the head gasket, but here is the thermostat, and if you can see, it's stuck. So it wasn't letting any fluid flow through the motor. So got a new one of those coming. So yeah, so the parts should be here in a couple days. So just stay tuned, and hopefully we get this thing back running. All right, got a gasket. I believe this is probably the piston. Rings. Don't know, thermostat maybe. Oil filter, spark plug, more gaskets, and then just some odds and end parts. All right, let's start getting this thing together. All right, got my rings on, got them the gaps in all the right spots. Just got to get the pin in or key in, and then get it over to the four-wheeler. All right, pistons in the four-wheeler. There's a little oil jet that goes right there, and it has an oil ring around. I'm waiting for that oil ring. It's still not in. Still don't know if it's coming in today, but I got some other parts. I got this from eBay. This is used. They don't make this fan no more, and I kind of want an OEM, so I got it used. And then I got these two parts. This is what, gets hot. Oops. This is what gets hot, turns the fan on. So I'm going to check that before that goes in. And then the cam chain tensioner. These are both Chinese parts that I don't want on there, but they don't, if I remember right, I don't think they make this OEM anymore anyways. But this was like 150 bucks OEM. So this is like 10 bucks. So that's why I got that. So I'll be, I guess, installing the fan and putting this on. All right, before we go too far with installing the fan, I just want to test it. So we're going to turn the key on. And if we touch these two, that's if the battery ain't dead, the fan should work. What the? Well, it tried. It tried to do something. I can't get hold of it and record. There we go. Alright, fan works. Sweet. Now, before I go too far, it's probably not ideal, but I'm going to take a lighter, light the bottom of this, and test that. So I guess the best way to do is plug it in, take a lighter, and see when the fan kicks on. Alright, got it plugged in. Just going to take a lighter. This might take a minute, because I have bought one of these Chinese ones and they didn't work. So if I had to change it, I would have to drain all my antifreeze out of that hole right there on the radiator, or that's where this goes, so like I would lose all my antifreeze. So we will test it first sometime today. This is probably not ideal, so I probably wouldn't do this if I was you guys. There it goes. So that does work. Sweet. While I'm waiting for that fan to cool down, because that thing's probably hot to touch anyway, so just kind of showing my plastics. I did kind of turtle wax this. I don't think I did it right. I'm not real sure, but I can tell you that that looks way better than what it did. So, I mean, to kind of get a comparison, I ripped these stickers off. That's what it should look like. That's what it is looking like. All right, the fan went off. I sanded these a little bit, but I'm nowhere near done. I think it'd be easier to do that once it's on. So there's that, but kind of compare these. I'm still not done with this piece either, but there's that side and here's this side. So definitely looking a lot better. Yeah, so even if it doesn't shine again, I still rather it look like that, like hazy, than like that. So that's what I'm kind of working on in between waiting for parts. But to kind of get a comparison between, you know, what the turtle wax did and not, you can kind of see that did put a little shine back to it, and that's a little hazy. So definitely helped. Definitely needs a lot more work though. Maybe I can actually get something that actually busts really good and maybe it'd do better. I don't know yet. Not too worried about it, to be honest, but definitely looks better. All right, fans installed, and the switch, I guess you call it, is installed. So that's all good. Just waiting for that piece to finish the top end. Okay, since I'm waiting for that part that the post office shipped to the wrong spot and then had to ship it all the way back, and then yeah, so I'm waiting for that. I think I'm going to clean this exhaust up, try to get it looking a little better. All right, I think that turned out pretty good. I might consider painting this. I don't know. You guys have to let me know what color you think I should paint it. But as of right now, I just want to get it on and get it running again. So when that part comes in, we will finish this up. Alright, here's the part. Finally came in. Been waiting for this little tiny thing, which goes on to this little tiny thing. So got all my parts laid out here. Kind of got them set in order. This gasket I bought, probably not going to use it. Reason, maybe, because I'm not sure if that is a problem. But I'm pretty sure the previous owner changed the timing chain, so because it had like a different timing chain tensioner and stuff on it. So I'm going to not mess with that because it looks kind of like it might be new anyways. And then if I do have to change it, then I'll probably just go ahead and change the clutch and timing chain and everything at the same time. So I'm not changing that yet. So everything on here is gonna go in. Okay, so I was like a tooth off when I checked the valves, and when I put it back a tooth, these were actually a little worse. So I went ahead and took them out. I shimmed them, re-shimmed them. So now I'm testing them now. So far, I think the exhaust side's good, but I gotta check it again. Let's see, okay. The 30 millimeters really didn't go in. 20's, I need to push down on it. 20's got a little drag. Does pretty good there. So we'll shoot for 15 mm. Just check that. If that feels good, and then I'll need to obviously check it once I hold it back down here. But oh wait, no, that's the other side. I need 25 for this. I was like, what? That's really loose. Okay, 25. No, 25 isn't going there. Well, I'm either too loose or too tight. I don't understand it. Let's go back down to 20. Actually, let's do like 23. I want to check 23. Let's see. Okay, that's a little tight, but okay. I can live with that side. This side is 10 mm to 20 mm. So we'll check it tight first, or see. Okay, that doesn't go in there. That one doesn't go there, so now we'll check 10. And that's got a slight drag, so I think that's good. All right, let's bolt it up and we'll recheck it. think everything's better. Ooh. Got it running.
Ouch.
I worked on it.
Can you
How else?
put the pieces back on?
I gotta put antifreeze in it, and then we gotta make sure it's not leaking. Just did the top end. When I got it running, I noticed the timing chain was a little noisy, so I was a little aggravated. Like, wish I kind of did the timing chain, but I thought that the previous owner did it. But after doing some research, I guess these are known for having a noisy timing chain. So what they, I guess, highly recommend is you change out the stock timing chain tensioner, which this is a Chinese one, which also could probably be the problem, but it had a manual one on it, and I thought that that was worse, but apparently they recommend changing to a manual one. So that's what I'm going to do now, is change it back over to this one. So let's do that. All right, took my gas tank off to get the spark plug out. I like to put something down in there so I can see when the piston's at top dead center. And I got, over there, I got it adjusted to the top. I got this in. So from what I was seeing online is you tighten that up real tight with your fingers, then you start it, and then if it's whining, it's too tight. If it's clinging, it's too loose. So then you just kind of adjust it while it's running. So that's what I'm going to do now. Probably won't be able to do that and record. So I'm going to try to do that now. It sounds super quiet now. Definitely the way to go. So yeah, that sounds so much better. I put in that OEM looking Chinese thing, not OEM, but it's kind of like stock, and it was knocking. I think it was actually all the way extended. It just wasn't strong enough. So makes me feel so much better because that was knocking pretty good. So now it sounds really quiet. So I'm just going to button everything up, and I think I'm good to throw the plastics on. I do notice I have a little bit of a antifreeze leak here, but I kind of want to ride, so I'm probably just going to run it for a little bit and then probably change that eventually. Just want to make sure this gasket here and stuff is sealed. I have a gasket for that, but I didn't feel like messing with it if I didn't have to because it looks like it's new. I think somebody did do the timing chain because they did do that. So yeah, we're about ready to rock. Had a little tiny leak on the water pump, and I thought you can just take that off and change that little rubber gasket. I think if the part was OEM, I think you can. I think I had a Chinese part on it. So when I went to pull it off, it was kind of stuck. So I thought, just pull a little bit harder. Well, when I did, the whole thing came off and the gear fell off inside with the little clip. And I ended up having to take the whole thing off, and I found the clip, so at least I didn't get lost in the motor. Over here's the part. In my opinion, this is kind of a stupid design. Like, I feel like this should have just kind of been built in somehow, not where you can take this off. But yeah, it was either, I think it was leaking right here. So the way this one is, OEM, it kind of, to me, it looks like this would go on and then you would put this on. Well, the way this one is this goes on here and then it's got 2 screws that holds this on. So there's no taking this off unless you take this whole thing off. So kind of dumb, but I got a cheap Chinese one coming from eBay. It's like 40 bucks, which I think that's all this is. So looks like this was working, but I do think it either failed. Kind of looks like, I think they changed this, the gasket behind this looked new. So I think they changed it and then they try to reuse this and they like caulked it up, which is probably why it was leaking, I'm assuming. But either way, I guess at least I know I'll have a new part. I don't know if it's a good part, but at least I have a new part. But it don't look like it came with this, but this all still looked good. So maybe I'll just try to bend that a little bit just so it's a little tighter. But yeah, that's what I'm working on now. It had loose bearings at the A-arms up here at the top. And let me tell you, that was a job. I had a press. I was able to press all of them out, but one, it had a sleeve. And I don't know if you can tell there. The sleeve got stuck. I took heat. I took screwdrivers, hammers. I finally got it out. But I think by putting it in the vise, it's kind of hard to tell. I think I ovaled it a little bit. I'm going to have to clean that up and maybe try to pound it back. I don't know. But let's see what we can do. All right, I got the bushings, the top bushings done on this side and this side. So that's all tight, but now since that's all tight, I noticed that this wheel bearing's loose. Later days. We still got this to finish up. Tomorrow I should have the rest of the parts to get the water pump coming. Should be able to get all this buttoned up. See if I can. All right. You guys have to let me know. I believe that's a little lean, but it is kind of dark on this side, so maybe it's running okay. Also, I think it's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but kind of rather it be a little rich, I think, than lean, and then don't have to worry about it getting too hot. And I like to have the airbox lid on anyways because I like to run through the mud. So yeah, let's see if we can get that looking better. All right, also I forgot to mention this back caliper was a little loose, but I think that's normal, but it seemed a little loose to me. So I got the rubber grommets or whatever you'd call these. I got both of those coming, and I also put this parking brake delete cover on there, so that's looking a little better. So also got all that coming too. Yeah, I got the side case back on. Got the new water pump. Now I'm just gonna put fluid back, put this hose back on, put fluid back in it, make sure we ain't got no leaks. Hopefully we don't. I'm gonna double check everything. And then I do have a new airbox lid, so let's check that out. All right, got the new airbox lid. I already dropped it. The gasket for the airbox lid. Son of a. Got the snorkel here. Here's this thing that hooks to the snorkel. I got some stuff for the brakes. I got some clamps. And I bought this for the water pump, but I ended up just getting the whole thing on eBay, so hopefully that works. And yeah, I'm gonna start getting this stuff together. Alright, just got all finished up getting everything together. I put the airbox lid on, just bought it, wasted money, and the thing wouldn't even start. So I think I was wrong about the spark plug. I think it was just clear. I don't think it was white. I think it's just because it was new and I didn't run it a long time. So I think it's actually running a little rich, which I think's probably better than running lean. So, but yeah, we are done. Couple things that still need done is after I got those, A-arm bushings fixed. I noticed this wheel bearing's loose. The steering stem is loose. And after I got the back brake fixed, it fixed the original problem, but now I noticed that the pedal goes up and down. So that it's kind of hard to see, but there is a bend in that rotor. So 3 things there, and then as soon as I get all that fixed, there'll be something else. I'm sure of it. So, but she runs and she rips.